guys all this code that's right up here? So did you all get this? You should be able to save this as a call the script cellphone.py with this code, and then I want you to run it and try to set your own cell phone, make and model and everything, and then print it out. Did you do it already, Tony?
Yeah.
You got it? No, you guys are fast. Apple iPhone 12, $359. That's pretty cheap, huh? For those iPhones. What's old?
Yeah.
What's the new?
Yeah, we're on like 15 or something.
Oh, it is?
They're like $1,000.
That's why you don't buy it.
It's like a whole computer right there, dude.
Yeah.
Keep going. Apple MPWF, okay.
They are a big
719.
skyscraper, okay?
Wow. Okay.
You can be locked in or out. It's a wonderful skyscraper to be in, but
Did you get it, Tim?
no,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. But
Yeah, so they banned these items.
Sorry, so I tried to open this.
Yeah, I missed that. I'm
I'm like so virus.
I found that out, I was like, I've had
Should
it
I
for
just
3 years.
submit it?
No.
Because I thought she was working on it, she was like, she had all, she
Yeah,
had like.
there's like 70. I added like 70 questions.
you know where
Well, I'm just worried that it's.
you want to be really
So under your own cell phone number, it would be under def set model number self model, and then under that it's self dot underscore model underscore number equals or sorry, yeah, underscore number is equal to and then model, and then I'm guessing you set model as your phone number.
I think I just have to.
I think.
Yeah,
My aunt's essentially.
But it is even if it's not your phone, right? It's still used to
Yeah.
So does that what you?
Yeah, yeah.
Stay after class. Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, but then he wants me to, he wants, well,
But it's like 4.
what's the,
Richard, did you get?
he wants you to update your phone, the phone you have, right?
What do you, how about you, Karen?
iPhone 13, 14, and
First one.
if you want to pay for it. So really, you
It's a
Settings,
settings.
there's a Lincoln SUV. Just slam it.
Is that an iPhone?
Yeah.
So like, there it is.
I was in the fall. I
iPhone
was
14
driving
Pro.
for like 5 hours before.
You did it.
I mean, really crazy.
say you pick it up and sell something that's in there, watch out.
We're going down to Hillmore. I would have gone through the windows.
Yeah, go into settings.
Yeah, there, yeah, that's all you need.
No. I actually, I crushed my G37. Yeah, like, service my injury. Like, I got paid.
So it's a Galaxy.
Who has the iPhone 12? Oh, I've got a Galaxy S9 filming here and an S9 active in my back pocket.
It's too bad that I don't like it.
You just saying I really don't.
They really old. Yes, mines are.
Yeah. Yeah, we're at like 23 or something.
Oh, I didn't know
Well,
that.
it's not.
Oh yeah, like a lot of things that jump between the ears.
11.
I thought that was new.
No, I got you beat on being outdated.
I see, I thought you were gonna say you
When I
guys.
imported this file, did it keep all the tabs? Or did you have to re-tab? Did you have to re-index?
Yeah, it was probably like 1,200 meters, right?
It came that way? Sometimes when I copy it, remember what you paid for it? 200?
But you're like,
Yeah.
Like in the way that Underdog flexes though.
I see, I see.
There you Okay, you guys got this? Good. Anybody else need me to look? And I can't stay after class. Okay, one more thing to do in class. I'm going to send you one more script here. This is the dot test. This will be the last thing we cover. Where is this? Okay. This is pretty neat. Let me send you this Python script 22854. Doc test. Let's see here. There we go. All right, I'm going to send you this right now. Okay, let's take a peek at this next topic. So, does everybody kind of feel comfortable with what you did with the cell phone right now? Let's look at this code one more time before we exit this. So, which one of these are setters and which are getters of these methods? It kind of helps, like, with the word, right? What is this?
The setter.
Setter.
The first three is setters.
That's setter. These are getters. What's another word for a setter?
Mutator.
Mutator. Mutator, mutator, mutator. And this is a
Accessor.
accessor. Good. Okay. Are all these? Oh, and I didn't show you the new trick. Okay. These are all private, right? Because they have two. These are the fields, right? Manufacturer, model number, retail price, and they all have a double underscore. So that makes them all private. And let me show you another trick, a way to get to the private ones. Let's see. Okay. All right. So here's. Let's see. You guys are seeing this, right? Okay. Make this a little bigger. A little bigger, a little bigger. There you go. Oh wait. That's it. Okay. All right, so check this out. This is another, it's kind of neat. So I'm creating a class called private class. And I'm defining my own constructor. And all it does is say, I'm setting public data, this field, this attribute, this variable, and that's public because it doesn't have any underscores. And I'm just setting it equal to the string public. So when I automatically create an object of this class, it's going to set this field to the string public, and it's going to set this underscore underscore private data equal to private. Okay? So there's my class. This is my blueprint. Now I'm going to create an object. My object equals private class. And then I'm going to say print my object.public data. That should print public, right? And then I'm going to print, now let me comment this out. I want to show you what happens. Let me comment this out for a second. Let's go one step at a time. Okay. So I'm going to run this. And it printed public. I know you can barely see that at the bottom. Okay, I print this, and it printed public, okay, which it should. Okay. So now let's try to print the private data. I'll comment this one out. See if we can access the private data. It says private class has no attributes. So when I try to just print this out, we can't get to it because it's private, right? But here's a trick. You can access private data by putting a single underscore and the class name prepended to that name, to this field, and then you can print it out. So it's called private class. I add an underscore at the beginning, concatenate the two, and then you can print it out. So you can access a private variable this way. So let's try this. So the class is called private class. I put one underscore, and then here's the two underscores for private data. This should print out private if it works. And it does. So this is one little sneaky way to actually get to the private data, is you put an underscore in the class name and then the private data, then your private field in here. It's pretty cool, right? All right, last thing is, did I email you guys that? Okay, let's pull this doc test up. This is pretty neat. So, let's see if I can make this a little smaller so I can see the whole thing. There we go. Okay. This is a real simple program. And you guys remember when so these are comments up here. And then I'm setting x equal to 5, and then I'm defining one function called squared, and it has one parameter. And do you remember, if you have 3 quotes at the very beginning, it's called a doc string?
Yeah.
Remember that? And it kind of defines, this is all a comment. And it says return the squared value of x. So all it's going to do is return x times x. But what's interesting is, if you make this a multi-line doc string, and you put in the 3 greater than signs, and you call a function, I'm calling squared 5, and then it should return 25. This is actually going to test it if I import the doc test module. So down here a little further, I say import doc test, and I say doc test.test module, and I say verbose equals true. What it's going to do is going to run through and look at this. It's going to examine this code and say, okay, he's writing a squared function, and if he calls squared 5, I'm going to expect 25 to come out on a line by itself. Okay, so let's run this and see what happens. And verbose equals true, so it means it's going to write out a lot of information. So let me move this up a little, clear the screen so you can see what happens. So look, it says your number squared, your number 5 squared is 25, and then look, it says it's trying squared 5, expecting 25, then it says okay, one item had no tests, one item passed all tests, one test and 2 items, one passed and 0 failed, the test passed. So this is kind of a way to test your code to see if it's going to work by this doc test. You put in what you expect to happen, and if it happens that way, then you can import doc test and run a little test on your Python script. So I'll show you a little more complicated example. Here's one that is creating a class and we're importing that decimal module, and we're saying we're creating a new class called account, and here's my doc string, right? Just for the class, and then here's one of my functions, which is the init. Okay, so this is the constructor, and here's a big long doc string for the constructor. So it's saying, if I say account1 equals account John Green, I'm creating a new account with the name John Green, and I'm putting $50 into his account. And then I type. So this is just like you're running in the interactive module, in the Python terminal. and then I type in account1.name, it should output John Green. If I type account1.balance, it should spit out decimal 50. And then if I do these others, it should say the balance argument must be greater than or equal to 0. And then if I type account 2 and I create a new account, John Green with a minus 50, it should get a traceback error and say value initial balance must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so let's run this, and it's going to start checking all these things and see what fails. And it's going to give us a whole bunch of output. Okay, clear the screen and run this. All right, so here's all the output. It says, okay, trying account 1 equals, so we set, we created an object, we set it to John Green, it's expecting nothing, it was okay, and now it's trying account 1.name, expecting John Green, and it got it, okay. Trying account 1 balance, it's expecting 50, and it got that, that's okay. Then it's trying account 2, it's trying to actually create a John Green account with negative 50 bucks. And it's saying, it's expecting a traceback error, a value error, initial value must be greater than or equal to 0, that's okay. So it's like 4 tests and 4 items, 4 passed and 0 failed, the test passed. So that's pretty neat, right? So it's a way you can import that module called doctest and then set up what you think is going to happen, and then if it happens that way, it passes. Okay. And I think that's all I wanted to cover. Let's see. I think that's all I wanted to cover for you guys for today. Was that it? We did this. We did the doc test. Yep, that's it. So any questions on anything at all about object-oriented programming? And here's again what to do. And I got a couple minutes, so if you guys want, I can play you a little song before you leave.